Sorry guys, so my camera died in the middle of me talking. So I believe I was talking about me going to look for the house. So yeah, so I ended up sending her like the houses that I was looking at in the area, and then I basically sent them to her, and then she basically did her magic and made sure actually digged and researched on things that I personally wouldn't have looked for, like making sure that it wasn't in a flood zone and making sure there were no like liens on the property or anything like that. So she took a step further and basically she narrowed it down to, because I sent her, I want to say like 8 or 9 houses, and she narrowed it down to like 3. And so I went, and then those 3 were actually in the same neighborhood. So I actually went to go look at those 3 houses like the next day. I think it was the next day, or it was like the day after. But ooh, I'm turning. So so of course, like I said, this is in the middle of COVID. So she actually had like one of her assistants show me around because she was pregnant at the time. So of course she didn't want to like risk her coming out and like getting COVID. So she had one of her assistants come show me the houses. And so we went to the first house. It was a existing home. It was a pretty, like, I liked the house. It had a fireplace and everything. It's just that I didn't it's just that it needed some like cosmetic work, but of course I was willing to get in and do those cosmetic changes and have it to my liking. But like the structure and stuff of the home that I can see was like, it was pretty good, pretty decent. So I would have been happy with that being my first home. And so I was excited, and I was about to tell her, okay, this is my house. But then my mom, she came looking with me. She was like, don't hop on a house, the first house that you see. And so I said, okay, well, let's just go look at the other houses. So the other no, actually it was 2 houses. So I had to go look at an existing home, and then I looked at the floor plan for not the floor plan, I actually had to go look at the house. It was a new build, but like it wasn't sold yet. So I looked at that home, and I liked that home as well. It's just that on my wish list I had that my master bedroom would have like the master bathroom. I wanted to have a like my tub and my shower separate. That was on my wish list. And I think it didn't have that, so that's why I didn't want that house, because I really wanted that. So yeah, I just didn't get that home. But then I also noticed that there was another floor plan, like the same exact floor plan. It's just that it had like the shower and the bath was separate, but it was like the same floor plan. So I asked the guy, the builder manager, because the realtor, in order to get to the house, the builder manager has to let you in. And so he had already told them like the time was gonna be in the neighborhood, and he came by, and I said, well, like I really didn't like that one, but I asked him if he had something in a similar floor plan but with the shower, like the shower and thing separate. He was like, oh yeah. Well, he did. Then he asked me what my price range was, and then we told him what our price range was, and he said, oh, well, we're actually about to get ready to build this particular floor plan like right across the street. And so luckily they had one already built too, so where I can go in and look at that as well. And I think I still have a video, so I can add that video in here. And so it was like the same floor plan, but everything was different. And then I think that one had like a full island or something like that. But this one, of course, is like, y'all know how my kitchen like is. I don't know, I like my kitchen. But yeah, so I looked at that one, and I just fell in love. And I keep saying the same floor plan because I like these floor plans have the built-in office desk area, and I needed that because I work from home. And so yeah, and I just fell in love with it. I'm like, oh my god, this is my house. Like, oh my god. And so the builder manager, he was like, okay, well, if you like this house, like, because I do have like a couple of people coming today. I don't know if they tell it to everybody, but he said I do know that we have a couple of people coming in today looking at the floor plan. So if you want it, you need to hurry up and snatch it up. And so literally as soon as I finished up with the assistant and the building manager, I called Terica. I'm like, I like this house, we need to get under contract ASAP. And then like she got in contact with the building manager, she got in contact with my loan officer, because the loan officer, she had approved me for a certain amount, but she only approved me for that amount because that's the amount I told her. So yeah, that's the amount I told her. So she was like, okay, well, you approve for the amount. And so this particular house, I believe it was it like $18,000 over my original budget? I think so. No, it was like $9,000. So this house was like $9,000 over my original like budget. So Terica had to make sure that it was still in my budget. So she had to check with Sierra to make sure that I can still afford this house and to basically get on the contract. So I was able to afford it, and I was able to get get on the contract. And that was like the best day of my life, but also like nerve-wracking at the same time, because like those between me telling Terica, hey, I want this house, and for the contract to be when the contract was received was like 2 hours or so. And so I was just like, oh my God. And I just had to wait. I prayed like 5 times, y'all. Like I got on my knees to pray like 5 times, because I really love this house and I wanted it to be my house. And yeah, so she got it under contract. So after you get everything under contract, that's when you go to the loan officer. So from here on out, you're going to be received, well, from there I started receiving emails from the builder, and they like kept me up to speed with like what the house was being built. And I got to see the house being built, but I actually wasn't able to like pick out anything, because this particular neighborhood is already an established neighborhood. It's just that on this particular in this neighborhood, they're continuing to build on to this neighborhood. So they already had their specific floor plans and specific colors and everything that they were going to build the houses. And so that's why I wasn't able to like pick out the colors or anything. But of course, I'm in a house now, I can change like whatever I want to change. But I just wasn't able to say, hey, I want this color or whatever. And then honestly, like the way they built the house, all the colors and everything, like I love it. And like I wouldn't change anything about it. The only thing I'm just going to change is like add some accent walls or stuff, and just add my own little flair on it. But everything else is like I would have picked out the same thing, so I'm not too mad about that. So but I did get to I'll show you guys all the framing. Like I literally, like it literally was a slab when I came on board and got on a contract. So I literally was able to watch it get built from the ground up. And I was coming to the house, I want to say twice a week for about 2 months to see the house. So it was very fun watching the house being built. So so the contract, I guess, because I have wrote down that contract received on March 20th, so I guess that's when the contract was received. And so after when the contract is received to before it's being sent to underwriting, they're gonna, like the loan officers are gonna ask for additional paperwork, and then you're gonna have to get updated bank statements, updated updated check stubs, and updated everything. And they're gonna have to I don't think they're gonna keep checking your score. I know they'll check your score right before you sign on the paperwork, but I don't know if they keep like checking it like while you're in the actual process. So on the March 27th, all of my information was submitted to underwriting. So the underwriter is basically like the person that's gonna tell you yay or nay. So the underwriter, so the loan officer basically get all the paperwork and stuff together, what they think that what they think the underwriter is gonna ask for, and they send it over to the underwriter. So the underwriter digs deeper into the paperwork, and then deeper into like your credit history, everything. So on the March 27th, all my paperwork that Sierra asked for was sent to the underwriter. Okay, so and so on the 27th, that was sent to the underwriter. On the 30th, the initial underwriting approval was received. So I got the approval from the underwriter. So that's a plus. So I got the initial approval from the underwriter. And then when I got that, the loan officer, there's a loan officer with your Sierra, then there's a loan processor. So me and the loan processor, dang, I forgot her name. How could I forget her freaking name? Like, okay, y'all, so my camera, like the memory had went out. But yeah, after the initial underwriting approval, so there's the loan officer, then there's the loan processor. So the loan processor is who you're gonna be in the trenches with, okay? I was in the trenches with my loan officer, okay? So, and then I can't believe I forgot her freaking name, because I was on the phone this late almost every day, up until I closed. Dang, what is her name? I forgot her name. Up until I closed, and I literally was almost in tears with her on the phone. I can't believe I forgot her freaking name. But anyway, so the loan processor, who you're going to be in the trenches with, and so they're going to be the one who well, I'm just going to tell you how my process. So she was the one who kept calling me and saying, hey, we need this, or hey, I have this bank statement but it's blurry, or hey, we're missing this page from this check stub, or hey, the underwriter is asking for a LOA, which is a letter of explanation. So, and then I had to write a LOA. So I have to write a LOA for, like, I think it was like back in 2016. So back in 2016, like, I just was going through a rough time, and I could not make any payments, and a lot of stuff like just went bad, and everything just went on my credit. And so I had to, like, basically write a letter explanation explaining why that happened to them. So I had to do that and send it over. So like I said, the loan processor is who you're going to be in the trenches with. They're going to ask you to do all this. They're going to be the one who knows every single thing. Okay, so I was in the trenches with the loan processor. She's just going to make sure, she's going to be the one who keep asking you for documents and making sure that everything is straight. So she's going to have direct contact with the underwriter, okay? So she has direct contact with the underwriter, and because you can't talk to the underwriter. Only the loan processor can talk to the underwriter. So after she asked for that, so on April 12th, all of the loan documents were accepted. So everything that I sent over to her was accepted. And so they just kept asking for conditions, and like one of the conditions was asking for like my 401k information and all that stuff. So all of that had to keep being sent over. And so on May 8th, my conditions were resubmitted over to the underwriter. So on May 20th, my appraisal was received. So my appraisal was received on May 20th. So the appraiser is basically, you have to get that. So you have to get an appraisal, and they're gonna, thank you, Mackenzie, and they're gonna tell you how much your house that you're purchasing is valued at. And so basically the mortgage company is not going to, so you want, when the appraisal comes in, you want it to be at the price that is being sold for, or even above the price that is being sold for. You do not want that appraisal to come in lower than the price that the house is being sold for, because if it comes in lower than the price then the house is being sold for. So let's say that you're buying a house for like $130. So you're buying a house for like $130, and your appraisal comes in at $120. So if your appraisal comes in at $120, then your mortgage company is going to go off that $120. They're not going to give you like more money than what the house is being paid for, because at the end of the day, buying a house is an investment. So they're not going to overpay for an investment if it's not worth that much, right? So when you get appraisal, you hope and pray that it comes in after it comes in at or above the value of the house that it's being sold for. So mine actually came in It came in over like $1,100. So I have like $1,100 in equity right now in the house. So after that was received, so on May 22nd, conditions were submitted again. Like I said, the loan processors, they're gonna just keep on asking for things, and then what made the process frustrating for me was that for one, I have anxiety to begin with. So, and my anxiety comes from the fear of fear from the unknown. So that drives me crazy if I don't know what's going on. So, and then this is like for everybody's process. You don't know. You're not the owner of that home until you get the keys in your hand, basically. Like, you can be at the closing table and then not be like leave without being a homeowner. So you're not actually a homeowner until you get those keys in your hand. So that was really, that had me with anxiety and frustrated me. Well, on the flip side of that is when the loan processor, when she kept asking for information and asking for documents, and you would think, whew, everything's fine because you just sent it over, but then the next day or 5 hours later, oh, we need this. And this happened like multiple times. So that was a little frustrating for me. And I think that happens with everyone's like house buying process, honestly. Like you just don't know. And that's frustrating. So yeah, that was a little frustrating for me, because I'm just like, I like to know what's going on, you know? And so on May 22nd, those conditions, like I sent off paperwork again. Honestly, I don't know why I say, because I was submitting paperwork every day, like every single day. Okay, so yeah, on May 22nd, the conditions was submitted again. And then yeah, from then on out, because I don't have anything from May 22nd, I believe, because I closed on my house on June 9th. So I closed my house on June 9th. And then honestly, between this time, of course, I'm coming back and forth to the house. And then I have like my orientation with the house. So I had the orientation with the house, which is like the first initial walkthrough. They walk you through and they tell you everything about the house or whatever, and how the house works and all that stuff. And then you come back on your final walkthrough. I did my final walkthrough, I want to say like a couple of days before. So I did my final walkthrough on July 4th. Not July 4th, on June 4th, because I was supposed to close on the 5th. But I didn't end up closing till the 9th, because my original closing date was June 5th. So when I give you a closing date, that's just a tentative closing date. Your realtor don't know the closing date. The seller doesn't know the closing date. Your loan officer's not going to know the closing date. The only person that can give you, like, approve your closing date is like the underwriter. Everything is dependent on the underwriter. So if they not in a rush, like, they don't care about your closing date. So yeah, basically that. And then what else I want to touch on? Damn, I want to touch on something else. So we talked about the closing, you don't know really, blah blah blah. And then I hope I'm not forgetting anything. Oh, so that week, like leading up to my closing, because my closing was on the 5th. So the 5th is on a Friday, was on a Friday, and I didn't close until that Tuesday. So we were just waiting. Basically, we were just waiting on the underwriter, because they were just taking too long. And like every time you would send in paperwork, they would take like a day to review that paperwork and then say, oh, we need this. And then you send that in, then they'll take like another day. Then that following day, they'll say, oh, we need this. So that's what stretched it out so long. And so I was just so excited when I finally got my clear to close. I was driving. I remember I was driving. I was on the phone with my cousin, and I was just super duper excited. And then yeah, so basically, oh, I think that's it. Like, that's my house. Oh no, that's what I was gonna say. So with the finances, I know because I know a lot of single moms, they're like on my page and are really, really inspired by me. And thank you guys. That's what I want to do, inspire you guys and let you know that you like you can do it too. If I can do it, like anybody can honestly do it. So if you're thinking that you can't afford a house, you can. If you're thinking that you have to have like this huge, Mackenzie, get away from the camera. If you think you have to have like this huge amount to pay down, you don't. There's down payment programs, there's closing cost programs, there's everything. I personally didn't get any of that. Like I didn't have assistance with my down payment from the government, from a down payment or from closing costs or anything like that. I don't think, I mean, I had asked about it initially. I think she said I wasn't qualified or something. I don't know. But I didn't get any of that. But there are those programs, those government programs out there that will help you with your down payment and your closing costs. So, yeah. So I would definitely say save. So I'm just going to give you guys a few tips. So save as much as you possibly can. And I actually, with my daughter, I actually brought her into the house buying process. Like she knew we was getting a house, and also like that helped me stay motivated. But I was also able to stay motivated because I told her between like when I got under contract from me closing on the house, I really like hound on like saving, because saving in itself is hard, but it's really hard if you don't know what goal you're saving for. So for me, when I got under contract and I knew, like, because the loan officer is going to tell you what your down payment is going to look like, what your closing costs may look like. They're able to give you those estimates. So I knew like the certain amount that I was trying to save for. So I told Mackenzie, I'm like, we can't like buy any toys, like we can't do anything. And she was okay with that because she knew if the end goal was a new house. Because mind you, we were still living with my parents at the time. And me and Mackenzie was in the room together. So I guess she got tired of me and I got tired of her. So she was perfectly fine with us not buying any like any new clothes, not buying any new toys or anything. So that's another tip. So if you have kids that understand, bring them into the house buying process and tell them, hey, we have to get this done. We can't be buying all this. And then you'll be shocked and you'll be surprised at how disciplined that they are and ready to help. And then also just like not go out to eat as much, and just really hound on your saving and budget. Budget is key. Budget is literally key, because you may be thinking, oh, I can't afford something, and then you write down all your bills and then all your like the amounts and stuff, and then you'll be shocked to see how much you actually can afford and all the things that you'll have to, like, you know, just that you can live without. So yeah, that's basically all the tips I have for you guys. I hope I touched on everything, and I hope I wasn't all over the place, because this video probably was a little bit all over the place because my camera shut off like 2 times. My daughter almost knocked over my camera. So yeah, if y'all have any more questions, definitely leave them down below, and definitely go check out Ciara's YouTube channel, because she is hella informative. Like, she is hell of informative. And those videos, because I actually watched her videos, I watched one of her videos before I even contacted her, but I didn't even know that was her until like a couple of weeks later. And I don't even think because I didn't even tell her that I was watching her YouTube channel. So definitely watch her, and she's able to answer like all the financial questions. She'll be able to tell you all about those programs, and she'll be able to tell you basically like how to save, and then buying in the middle of a pandemic. And that's another thing, like the pandemic just raised my anxiety even more, because they had changed their restrictions in the middle of the house buying process, and then I was qualified and then not qualified. I had to switch over to another mortgage company. It was just a lot. And then she actually has a video about buying in the middle of a crisis. So definitely check out that video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.